Welcome to Taxing Poetic. I'm your host, Jenny.
And I'm Tim.
And today we are going to have another regional series for you. We're going to be talking about New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. And of course, the title of this regional series is Walk Faster, Please.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Get out of my way.
Everything is faster in the Northeast. Yes. And so we're going to talk about some weird stuff later on in the episode, right?
Yeah, and I think we're going to end up starting off today with a pop quiz. We're coming right out of the gate with pop quiz hot shot.
We have a pop quiz hot shot.
Nice.
Okay, written by Donna McMurray. So you don't know the answers. That's great. Thank you, Donna, for doing that.
Fantastic.
Okay, first question, and I'm just going to randomly say, Jenny, which of these states exempts clothing?
Exempts clothing out of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania?
Yes.
I'm going to say New Jersey.
The actual correct answer is all of them do.
What? That was a trick question.
Yeah, there's some exceptions, but they all
Have some form of exemption. And it could be either there's also like a floor and a ceiling and stuff of that nature. Like, yes.
Ree-hee-heely. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Okay.
0 for me so far.
Uh-oh.
Tim, which of these is not a state?
That would be Pennsylvania. Isn't it the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania?
It is a commonwealth.
There you go. It's not a state.
Oh, wow.
Does that change any rules or laws?
true.
No, it's just something kind of quirky, you know? It's like there's a couple of commonwealths that we have in the United States.
It's very English, I believe.
That's exactly it. It comes from old school days.
Okay, Jenny's question. Only 2 jurisdictions in Pennsylvania have local taxes. What are they?
Oh, okay. Philadelphia is one of them.
Me.
No, not you. Shh. And I don't even know which way to say it. Is it Allegheny or Allegheny?
Allegheny. Allegheny.
I say it in
Oh
my
my
head.
goodness, we're gonna get hammered by somebody in Pennsylvania on that.
Gonna have to
That was
apologize,
not Tim Howe.
But she did get it right. That is correct. In Allegheny, they have a 1%, and Philadelphia 2%.
There you go.
Yay.
Okay, Tim, which state has an SUT prepayment called prompt tax?
Oh, a sales and use tax prepayment called the prompt tax. That's our great friends in New York.
That one's so easy.
Oh, really?
Stupid. And you get, what state's not a state? I think
Hey,
these are
man.
supposed to be switched.
Hammer the producer, not me, okay? I'm not the one doing the selections here.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Jenny.
Yes.
True or false?
Turs or flays?
You got a 50% chance. New York City and New York State tax the same things.
That has to be false.
It is. Do you know what some of the things are that they tax differently?
Clothing.
Oh.
Clothing's one
I
of
think
them,
he was
right?
asking me, but
Well,
go ahead. You're like, me, teacher.
You already got it right. I mean, you already got the point. So
No, well, now he's just rubbing it in. Okay.
commercial
All right.
rent, some services.
Oh, nice.
Would soda be one of
I
them?
didn't know commercial rent. Really? That's interesting.
You didn't know something? All right.
Can we rewind this segment?
All right, Tim, last question. Which state ranks 50th on the Tax Foundation's State Business Tax Climate Index?
That has to be New York.
It is New Jersey.
It's New Jersey.
50th.
50th. Wow.
Wait, what even is that? What is climate? What?
I have no idea what the tax climate index is. I have to ask Donna about that.
Yeah.
You know what it's got to be? It's got to be like as far as favorable tax treatment and stuff like that. I don't know. Let's go to the internet.
Or maybe because, wait, and the answer is New Jersey? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, ask your Google machine.
The index is designed to show how well states structure their tax systems and provide a roadmap for improvement. Well, let me tell you, New Jersey's tax system is criminally suckwad.
So that's why they're 50th?
That would be why they're 50.
Wow.
Look who's 49th.
New York. I know. So you were close.
You got to bring that up.
So now we know we should probably change the title of this episode to Crappy Climate States. I mean, crappy tax climate states.
You might want to take that out because I think you've just offended every single human in the New York greater.
Just tax climate, I'm sure New York would agree with me about
my
taxes.
goodness.
They pay a
Oh, my
lot of them.
goodness. That's
so,
awesome. Okay.
Okay. So pop quiz. So how do we do on that? So 2 each?
So yeah, you got 2 each.
Yes. In your face.
I think she should get partial credit because she couldn't pronounce Allegheny. Sorry. That's wow. Sorry to my friends up in Pittsburgh and that whole area.
Yeah, that's definitely on our apologies list.
It's all good. It's all good.
Whatever.
Hey, man,
Okay.
PNC Park. It's one of the greatest baseball stadiums in the U.S. Gotta go check it out.
Okay.
Go Pirates. Good stuff. Hey, you want to take a quick break?
Yeah, take a break.
Take a break.
All right. Welcome back to Walk Faster, Please. We're talking about New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania today.
Awesome.
And we actually got another email from Taxi McTaxface.
Oh, goodness.
This is fantastic.
Now, did we decide, is it a Miss McTaxface or a Mr.?
We
I
do
think
not-
it's androgynous.
Yes, we don't know.
Okay.
Just Taxi McTaxface. There's no profile image.
No.
So this person is always mad at us. So let's see what happens here.
Let's see what's going on today
What
in
if-
Taxi's world.
What did we do now, Tim?
Okay, again, I'm just reading this verbatim. Okay. I am starting to see why I'm the only person who's writing into this show.
Oh, jeez. Ouch.
Off the bat.
Yikes.
I was visiting New Jersey and got a box of Knish, and they would not give me any utensils. They said I cannot have any because they would have to charge me sales tax. I told them they were full of and instead they forced me to sit in the restaurant and eat the whole box with my bare hands like a feral animal. Are they right?
I don't know.
Sorry, the image of somebody gobbling down a box full of Knish in a restaurant.
I mean, do they have any thumbs? Then yeah, they will be gobbling it like an animal.
I don't know why they would force them to sit in the restaurant. You can leave.
I mean, yeah.
I know. Oh, that's true.
They may have
Go
locked
get your
the,
own
may,
utensils.
may have
But
locked the
so
doors.
the question, I guess, is that true that if you have a utensil, you get sales tax, and if you don't, you
Technically, in the state of New Jersey, yes. If you're actually selling bakery items, at least historically, that's how it was treated in New Jersey and is still treated from my understanding today, is if you're selling bakery items and you afford somebody or give them the opportunity to have utensils, to eat those items, it's food to be consumed on premise and it's prepared food and it will be taxable in the state of New Jersey. Whereas if you just say, hey, here's your box of Knish, go on your merry way, walk out of here, guess what? Then it's food for take home or, food for general consumption out off premise and ultimately it would not be taxable.
even if you eat in.
Yeah, and isn't this one of those instances where if the auditor's there and they catch it, then they get in trouble?
Yeah, I mean, typically they're going to look to see if utensils are provided, if you have a dining area. And this isn't just New Jersey. I don't want to just pick on New Jersey. There's actually a number of states that have this rule. North Carolina used to have this rule, and I say used to, haven't researched it in a couple of years, and we obviously are in a dynamically changing environment, right? Which is why we have this podcast. It always depends, on the instance and the, legislative changes within the state. But historically, these states, a number of them have said food for home consumption means you cannot give someone utensils and you cannot have a dining area. So, yeah.
Okay. Well,
And it helps a business. I mean, obviously, it helps business, helps the consumer. It can in some instances, it can be construed as a competitive advantage because you're not having to charge sales tax on your Knish or your donuts or your bagels or your croissants, right?
okay.
Or as you would like to say, croissant.
Croissant.
There you go. But
S'il vous
yes.
plaît.
Well, thanks, Taxi McTaxface,
Yes.
for writing in, I guess.
I know. Again, we don't make the rules, Taxi. Just chill out.
I mean, settle down, yo.
Yeah, settle down. Okay. So, all right. So now we're going to move into our segment of what's weird?
What's weird?
What's weird, Tim? We're going to talk about our first what's weird, which is clothing, which is also pertinent to all 3 states.
Yeah.
And walk faster, please. So please text Poetic about what's weird with clothing.
It's just kind of interesting, especially when you like if you look at a state like Pennsylvania, right? And look, we don't know all this randomness just right off the top of our heads. We have clients that deal with these issues. That's why it's very familiar to us. We're constantly answering these types of questions, even dealing with prospects. But at the end of the day, Pennsylvania, there are certain types of clothing, wearable apparel is how they generally like to define it, that would be exempt from tax. But you have things like formal wear, tuxedos that would be taxable. You have fur clothing that is considered to be taxable. Costumes, right? Costumes are considered to be taxable items.
All my favorite things.
Right? Safety equipment.
Oh, yeah, not so much. Costumes, yes.
Your face shield.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. While you're filing out returns.
Yeah.
Oh my God, watch out for the flying ink. But yes, no, at the end of the day, there's a number of different classifications of items in Pennsylvania that would be considered exempt, but you also have the taxable bucket that we need to be, worried about. And then also like we discussed in New York, New Jersey both have very interesting rules as it pertains to clothing. They have dollar limits and thresholds that are set, on.
Isn't there a minimum floor?
Yeah, there's basically a tax floor, that is on certain types of purchases, or a dollar limit on certain types of items that it becomes taxable after X amount of dollars, right? So you have to set up your POS system, or you have to set up your online system to be able to know those types of rules, so that when you sell an article of clothing, you can actually tax it appropriately.
Okay.
Right? So clothing in these jurisdictions, and it's not just isolated to Pennsylvania, New York and New Jersey. There are a number of states in the Northeast that have very interesting, clothing rules. We like to say they all just must have, went to New York's Fashion Week and got really upset and decided to tax high-end clothing at some point, but I don't know.
Oh, it's my dream, New York Fashion Week.
Really?
Just to spectate.
Okay.
Yes, not to buy anything. Obviously, you don't pay me enough. So back to Allegheny. Do they tax it differently in Allegheny, Pennsylvania?
In Allegheny County? Yes, because in the state of or the Commonwealth, of Pennsylvania, you would have to look at the specific rules regarding clothing.
Okay,
yes.
That's what I wanted to know, really, out of that whole thing. So, okay.
Say it with me once.
I know.
Allegheny.
There
you go.
Okay.
You got it.
Yay.
Right on.
I know.
Okay.
You know what else is weird is CIP?
Contractors. Yeah. And you talk about capital improvement projects. That's what CIP stands for.
Okay.
Specifically in New Jersey and New York, contractors and how they actually conduct business and the nature of the repairs or the nature of the work, should I say, that they're actually doing could be taxable or non-taxable. Mm-hmm. You sometimes have to get an affidavit that's signed by your customer that says that you're doing a capital improvement project. And what is that? A capital improvement project means that you're taking something and integrating it into the real property or basically you're integrating it into the structure and it's becoming a component of real property. And so like when you think about if I'm installing cabinets or if I'm installing a set of stairs or if I'm building a new wall, that would be considered to be a capital improvement project and would be non-taxable. You would not have to collect tax from your customer and you wouldn't have to pay tax on your materials, you would pay tax on your materials when you purchase them up front. Whereas if you did a repair, like you resurfaced cabinets, or if you came in and you patched a wall, or if you painted or something like that, that would be considered a taxable project. You would have to collect tax from your customer, and you would not pay tax on your materials when you purchase them.
And this is in all 3 states?
Just New Jersey and New York.
New Jersey, New York. Okay, not the Commonwealth, not in Allegheny.
No.
Okay.
Stop saying Allegheny.
I'm just going to keep saying it.
You're going to really frustrate me.
Gonna get us in trouble.
I know.
Bro.
That's why I keep doing it.
It's literally like nails on a chalkboard right now.
You're welcome. Anytime. Can you...
that is my OCD.
Okay, so the bakery rule...
Bakery rule. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about with old Taxi, right? Taxi McTaxface, and having to deal with that whole, if it's food for consumption, food for home consumption, or food for immediate consumption. New York's rules around that are really weird. New Jersey, we just talked about, has some very interesting rules regarding if utensils are present in a dining area, things of that nature. But then you turn around and you talk about in New York, if you're, buying something that's heated, if you're buying something that accompanies something that's actually ready for immediate consumption, it would normally be exempt. That would then change its nature and would be taxable.
Yeah,
right?
My favorite example is you buy a single donut in New York and it's taxed in full because you're eating it there. But if you buy 7 and bring them home, then you pay the grocery rate.
That's basically it. Yeah,
Okay.
it used to be a quantity
Which is lower.
based.
The grocery rate is lower.
Actually, it's not. It would
not?
be exempt. It would be 100% exempt. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. It technically actually becomes an exempt based transaction.
Okay, you know what else is weird? I would like you to tax Poetic on is Pennsylvania software rules.
Basically that they tax everything
And
with regards to software.
Yeah, and that's unusual for a state, right? Don't most states
100%.
have exemptions for certain types of software?
Yeah, this is really nerdy. So it truly depends. Like a lot of states, their definition of tangible personal property really is what defines software as being taxable or not. So like Georgia, where we're sitting right now, is a great example, right? Historically, Georgia has said that the exchange of tangible personal property is considered to be, a taxable transaction, or the actual physical exchange of tangible personal property. So if I sold you software that was on a physical medium, like a DVD or floppy disks, for all of you out there that can remember what a floppy disk was.
It's a 3D printing of the save icon, right? Is what millennials think it is?
Oh my goodness. Yes. That is the most ridiculous explanation of a floppy disk I've ever heard in my life. But yes, that would be it. I love it. Yes. So that 3D printing of a save icon from Excel would be considered to be a floppy disk. But yeah, if you exchange that in Georgia, it was taxable. Electronic transmissions of software have been historically non-taxable in Georgia, right? Georgia's actually trying to change that, or is in the process of attempting to change that. They actually want to consider electronic downloads, things of that nature, to be taxable transactions.
Because they want the money. Duh.
Right.
Okay.
We have a number of states that are chasing that. They're chasing those dollars. Pennsylvania is just on the forefront of it. They tax SaaS. They tax electronic transmissions of CAN software, load and leave software. I don't know if custom software is taxable in Pennsylvania, but you generally need to take a look at the rules and understand it. But I will tell you, like cloud-based solutions, licenses for cloud-based software, things of that nature, electronic downloads of iTunes and things, those are all taxable in the state of Pennsylvania.
Okay. Well, I have one more. You know what's weird that I think a lot of you tax compliance people out there will agree with me on. It is such a pet peeve. How about New York doesn't have a regular quarter for filing? They just made up their own special quarter.
Oh, you talking about the off-quarter filings?
The off-quarter filings.
Yeah. What is a good example of an off-quarter, Jenny?
An off-quarter would be, instead of it being a traditional January, February, March that you file in April, you're actually filing December, January, February in March.
There you go.
And that happens throughout the whole year. And you make prepayments for the 1st through the 22nd.
That's right.
The prompt tax.
Tax.
Yeah. So New York, I love you a lot for a lot of reasons, but come on, let's just get on the regular.
Can we get on a standard quarter?
Can we get on a standard quarter?
That's
right.
So
that's weird.
It's like our friends in California, requiring their annual payments in June this last month.
Yes. And you know why?
Yes. So that they could close out their fiscal year with a surplus.
Correct.
You gotta love it.
The literal answer we got from California when we asked why. Like, why is every client having to make an annual California prepayment this year?
Never had to do with before.
No.
Yeah.
No. So yeah. Anyway,
very interesting.
Sorry, that was off. They do not walk fast in California, so they are not part of Walk Faster Please today.
No.
So anyway, but that is what is weird about New York. So just keep in mind, it can be very confusing. The returns are due at different dates. The payments are due in different dates in New York. So
basically, I mean, kind of the whole tip for this entire segment would be, if you live in New York, you need to move. Right? I mean, effectively, and we're seeing a lot of that.
Just from tax complexities,
Exactly.
higher rates,
Tax environment. I mean, when we're talking about the tax environment, we said it earlier.
Number 49.
Right?
Yeah.
New Jersey's number 50.
Right.
So, yeah, it's quite difficult. Very, very difficult compliance environments. Very difficult to navigate those waters, but that's why we're here, right? You can call us and, we can offer you some advice and some suggestions and help you, guide you through some of these nuances within these states.
I bet the people in Allegheny County are very happy, though.
Well, that's a good segue into our apologies before we close up here. Obviously, opening right up with everybody who lives in Allegheny County. I'm sure maybe we'll
Jenny,
get
I think, has hammered that home.
new emails from anybody who lives in Allegheny County.
If Tim says it annoys him, then I'm going to say it all the time.
Millennials, actually, we have to apologize to because I'm a millennial. We know what a floppy disk are. Gen Z is who wouldn't know what a
I'm
floppy disk is. And I
sorry.
didn't want to get lumped in.
You
with the
truly
Gen Z.
qualify as a millennial?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, dude.
Then
We're old.
people who
Whoa, God, I am old.
You and I are old, Tim. Okay, sorry.
people who continue to live in New York.
I know. There's a lot of them. Millions, apparently.
Yeah, I mean,
Apparently.
you got the John Updike quote. Anybody who doesn't live in New York has to be in some way kidding. So,
I love New York, by the way.
yeah.
Yes.
And the just sort of New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Jenny was not saying she doesn't like your places. She was just saying you have very crappy tax.
Yes, I thought that was
Specifically.
clear the first time.
Yeah, I just
Okay,
wanted to
no.
make sure we have that.
In fact, we feel bad for you with your crappy tax climate.
Exactly.
I mean,
Look, if you haven't been to the Hudson River Valley in the middle of the summer, it's absolutely one of the most beautiful places on the planet. It's
lovely.
gorgeous.
Yes.
Had a buddy in the Navy that used to live there, and we all did a road trip and went and visited his family once. It was totally awesome. It's
Yes,
cool.
I
Great
know.
weekend.
yeah,
Yep. Good times.
yeah.
All right. Wrapping this up, please subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, Tidal, on LinkedIn. And please send in your questions. Taxi McTaxface cannot be the only person on the planet that somehow gets this emails, but for this point, yes. But
I know. You don't even have to say something nice. Just say something.
say something at all.
Yeah,
Thank you all very much, and look forward to talking to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.